The movie begins 5 years after a massive comet called Clark destroyed most of humanity and turned Earth into a poisoned nightmare where survival has become almost impossible. Deep underground, John lives with his wife Allison, their son Nathan, and a small group of survivors hiding inside a bunker, while deadly storms and toxic air consume the surface above them. Every day, John risks his life by leaving the bunker to search abandoned ships and destroyed military wreckage for supplies, but each trip only proves how hopeless the world has become as lava spreads across the oceans and entire cities rot beneath the storms. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Great Animation Recaps because it really helps us keep bringing more epic survival movie recaps like this. And now the nightmare only gets worse. During one of his scavenging trips, John discovers dead soldiers inside a destroyer ship and suddenly begins coughing violently, hinting that something inside him is slowly killing him. He barely escapes a giant storm wave and collapses after returning to the bunker, while cracks begin spreading through the underground structure itself, proving even their last shelter is starting to fail. At the same time, bunker leaders reveal shocking news about a mysterious place in southern France called the Crater, a region somehow untouched by the comet where life may still exist. Most people refuse to believe the rumors because reaching France across the destroyed world sounds impossible, but Allison desperately wants to believe there is still hope somewhere beyond the ruins. Their son Nathan struggles to adapt to bunker life because, unlike everyone else, he is obsessed with studying the stars instead of hiding underground forever. One night, John gives Allison a flower he found outside, creating a rare peaceful moment between them before another violent tremor suddenly tears through the bunker and throws the entire underground colony into chaos. Massive explosions shake the structure apart as screaming survivors rush toward the exits while debris crushes everything around them. John fights through collapsing tunnels to save Allison and Nathan, and together they barely escape through a damaged eastern gate, moments before another deadly storm slams directly into the bunker and destroys what little safety they once had. Outside, thousands of desperate survivors fight to board evacuation ships while giant waves wipe people away without mercy. One overcrowded ship flips over completely, killing everyone on board. But John refuses to follow the panicked crowd and instead leads his family toward another vessel where they rescue an injured scientist named Amina before escaping into the storm-filled ocean. The small ship barely survives the journey as the engine constantly fails and fuel eventually runs out completely, leaving them drifting helplessly across a drowned world. After days at sea, they finally reach the remains of Liverpool where entire buildings sit submerged underwater and armed soldiers guard isolated survivor zones while refusing entry to most people. Allison possesses a pass connected to an old friend in London, but soldiers coldly inform her that only she can enter while everyone else must stay behind. Tension explodes instantly. Another survivor is shot dead during the confrontation. And with another storm approaching, John quickly trades his valuable watch to a stranger named Obi in exchange for transportation toward London. During the dangerous drive, Obi explains how the apocalypse transformed humanity into something far more brutal than the comet itself, as people now kill each other just to survive another day. Suddenly, John notices a massive comet fragment falling from the sky and orders everyone to grab nearby trees while Obi runs back toward his car, only to be completely obliterated seconds later by the impact. Eventually, the family reaches London and reunites with Allison's friend Mac, who has converted an abandoned nursing home into a breathable safe zone using generators and air filtration systems. For the first time in years, they finally experience warmth, safety, and a normal meal together. But later that night, Allison discovers John coughing blood in the bathroom and realizes the truth he has been hiding. John finally admits he has been infected by radiation poisoning for a long time and now has less than 6 weeks left to live. Allison begs him to stay in London, where they can spend his remaining time together in peace. But John refuses because he cannot allow Nathan to grow up hiding underground, waiting for death if there is even the slightest chance the crater is real. The next morning, they continue their journey through the destroyed countryside, but armed raiders suddenly ambush their vehicle and open fire without warning. Amina is killed instantly beside them, and John desperately fights back against the attackers until his gun runs empty, forcing Allison to save him herself with the final shot before the shaken family buries Amina and continues moving forward alone. When they finally arrive at the English Channel, they are horrified to discover the ocean itself is gone and replaced by an endless, dead wasteland stretching toward France. A fragile rope bridge hangs above massive cracks in the dried seabed, and despite Nathan's fear, the family begins crossing while violent winds shake the collapsing structure beneath their feet. Halfway across, the bridge suddenly begins snapping apart as terrified survivors fall screaming into the abyss below them. Nathan nearly slips into the darkness himself, but John and Allison grab him at the last second and drag him back up while people push each other off the bridge just to survive. If you were trapped in this nightmare world, would you still risk crossing that bridge for one final chance at survival? Let me know in the comments. After reaching northern France, the family discovers a lifeless wasteland covered in dust and ruins, causing John to slowly lose hope that the crater even exists. Eventually, they encounter an armed French survivor named Dennis, who takes them to a giant abandoned mall converted into a hidden shelter where breathable air is powered using salvaged solar systems and old batteries. Dennis introduces them to his daughter Camille and his sick wife Julia, who can no longer speak because of radiation damage. But despite the tragedy surrounding them, they share one rare, peaceful dinner together. Dennis finally confirms the crater is real, though reaching it means crossing an active war zone controlled by violent factions, fighting over the last remaining habitable territory in Europe. Before they leave, Dennis asks the family to take Camille with them, because he refuses to abandon his dying wife, but still wants his daughter to have a future somewhere safe. The emotional goodbye becomes even more intense when soldiers later intercept the group during their journey. Yet after hearing their story, the soldiers decide to guide them through underground military tunnels leading toward the crater. As they finally approach the military camp guarding the final route, they discover Commander Juno is already dead, and most survivors who attempted reaching the crater never returned alive. John explains everything they have endured, including his worsening condition, and the new commander is so moved by their story that he provides transportation toward the destination. But insurgents soon attack the convoy, slaughtering the soldiers and forcing John to stay behind and fight alone, while Allison and Nathan escape through gunfire and explosions before John finally returns wounded and barely alive. Bleeding heavily, John orders Allison to keep driving, while Nathan desperately tries to stop the blood pouring from his father's body. And after everything they survived, they finally see it in the distance. The crater, filled with green forests, clean water, and real life untouched by destruction. Overcome with emotion, John asks them to stop so he can look at the paradise he sacrificed everything to reach. But moments later, he collapses into Allison's arms as Nathan tearfully repeats the same prayer his father once taught him before they bury John beside the only safe place left on Earth. With the nightmare finally behind them, Allison and Nathan walk toward their new life inside the crater. And if you enjoyed this recap, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Great Animation Recaps, turn on the notification bell so you never miss another epic movie recap, and comment below with the next movie you want to see recapped.